Monty, after I think 11 points in the first half for Chris, he really got it rolling in the third quarter. Is there anything the way he plays that is a sign to you that okay, he's about to go into his bag? He has a run coming.
I can't answer that one with there's no marker for me. There's just when it's going like that, you just want to space the floor well and let him orchestrate. I thought he was making the right plays. They were switching a ton, and we have to offer that space and play faster if he gets off of the ball. But he was making shots, and when he's in that mode, we just feed off of that. But I don't have a marker or a segment in the game where I'm like, here he goes. It just happens, and our guys feed off of those moments in the game.
Right in front, Dwayne.
Yeah, Coach. You talked about getting easy ones, and obviously the Bucks play sound half court D. You think you guys got 20 fast break points?
Yeah.
What was the key to that tonight? You
getting stops and DA rebounding the ball. I mean, he had 17 defensive boards, and that allows for us to get out and run. And I thought our guys were intentional about making plays for someone else, even if you didn't get the ball by running the floor. The floor was spaced, and so we were able to attack the paint or play hit ahead. They're a good defensive team, so anytime you can get easy buckets, it really helps you.
Ramona in the middle.
Hi, Monty. Ramona Shelburne, ESPN. You've had Chris early in his career, now towards the end of his career here. And then I remember the first round, you kept saying he has a look, like you guys have looks and you read him. I'm just wondering, how he's changed and evolved? Like if his looks now, have they changed from when he was back in New Orleans at the beginning of his career and just sort of his own career evolution?
I'm not. Back then, I was probably more forceful with calling plays. Now, he'll read the game. I'll watch him. He'll turn to me, and I'll be like, you call it. Or he'll be like, Coach, give me something. And then I'll be like, well, do this, that kind of thing, as opposed to me trying to run the whole deal. We always talk about the package of plays that we want to run in certain segments of the game. So we'll have 2 or 3 plays, and he'll stay in that environment for a bit, but ever so often he'll look over to me and he'll squint and I'll know he's wanting to play and then I'll call it. Before it was just me like, run this, run this, run this. Now, I try my best to stay out of his way because I know what he's seeing. And usually when he calls a play that I didn't give him, it's a play I wanted to run anyway. So I think that's the relationship that we've built over being together twice and being in this situation with him. I think there's a trust there, and I think that helps.
So just to be clear, is squint the look? Is a squint?
It might be. They make fun of me because I squint with my glasses on, but he squints also. And so when he looks over and squints, I know he's wanting to play, and I try to give him something that takes advantage of the guys we have on the floor. Mm-hmm.
Back right.
Monty over here. You mentioned that the Bucks were switching a lot. They were switching a lot even in the first half with Brook Lopez on the floor. Were you expecting them to play that way defensively as much as they did? And did you have a specific plan to attack that?
We didn't know. I mean, they did a number of things versus Atlanta. But in their last game, they did switch a lot more. So they're the kind of team that you have to prepare for both. And so we didn't know. We just were waiting to see what it was. And we just tried to, space the floor as best we can off of the switches.
Palmer for a couple on Zoom.
First, we'll go to Cameron Cox with 12 News, followed by Mark Schwartz.
Hey, Coach, what did you make of Cam Johnson's performance tonight?
I thought he was great. His ability to space the floor and shoot the ball is what you tend to think about with Cam, but I thought his defense was really good tonight. He's a big, strong defender, and he has the ability to move his feet and keep guys in front. At 6'9", to move his feet like that, You know, there's times when Giannis is coming at you full speed. There's really no answer for that except to, you know, take the hit and try to keep him from getting to the basket. I thought he had some really good possessions tonight on that side of the ball. And then his ability to score, space the floor, attack the basket. He's just a really good player.
Next is Mark Schwartz with ESPN.
Monty, Chris has not scored 73 points in a back-to-back game situation. Only one time he's done that in his career. What is it about the last two games, especially tonight's game, in which his offense was both needed and came about and evolved naturally?
I mean, he just understands how to score the ball, but he also understands where everybody else is on the floor. I thought the pass that he had to DA for a finish at the basket was signature Chris. I mean, he had been scoring and managing the game, and then as soon as they blitzed, he hit DA and we got a layup. But to answer that question properly, I mean, I'd be here all day. He's just a really good basketball player, and he's one of those rare guys that can see the floor. He knows where all five guys should be. He took advantage of his opportunities tonight versus, you know, their switching defense, and gratefully or thankfully he made shots.
Go ahead, Chris.
Coach, you didn't know for sure if Giannis was going to be a go tonight. Two questions. How did you prep for that? And how would you assess how you defended him?
We planned for him to play. We just felt like a guy like Giannis, who all the stories report about how hard he works on his body. We just figured a guy that works that hard is going to find a way to get back on the floor, especially in the finals. And this is the time of the year where you sacrifice everything. And, you know, that's what we expected. And so we had planned for him to, you know, be in the starting lineup. But if he didn't, you have to have another plan because they make rotation changes. So it wasn't like we were going to be caught off guard, but we were planning for their best. And Giannis, you know, is their best.
Gina?
Hey, Monty. We've talked so much about DeAndre's play throughout the playoffs, but his efficiency in particular, just what do you feel like have been the biggest keys for him to just maintain that from the beginning of the playoffs up until now?
I mean, he's just locked into the role. And sometimes when you tell a player he has a role, they tend to think that you're limiting their ability. I don't think DA thinks that. I think he understands his role and how it can affect winning on both sides of the ball. And, you know, it certainly helps to have Chris and Book, you know, creating opportunities for him. But he's done a really good job of understanding the angles and screens and where to be in the pocket to finish around the basket. And he's just a presence down there. You know, sometimes they have to run two guys at him to keep him off the glass, and that allows for our wings to pick up some offensive rebounds.
Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, Monty. Mark Medina, USA Today. How have you seen the dynamic among Chris and Devin and DeAndre evolve throughout the season? What do you think it's taken for them to be such a great trio?
I mean, earlier in the year, there was, you know, some gray areas as to how to help those guys play together. I think those three deserve a lot of credit for the time that they spent after practice talking about certain environments. I'd love to tell you that I, you know, orchestrated it all, but we've given them a system, and then those guys talk about the angles of the screens and different ways to run plays that we have so that they can be effective. I just think it's a lot of intentional conversations between those three and all of our guys. And so, you know, we're just grateful that they, you know, are playing well together, and we hope it continues.
Palmer, back to Zoom.
Next is going to be Kent Somers with the Arizona Republic.
Yeah, Monty, we've seen DA's improvement through the year, but what he's done in the playoffs, that taking it next level, has really been remarkable. Is it remarkable to you? Also, have you seen a young player make this jump, as big a jump as he has in such a short amount of time?
I don't know. I mean, I'm happy that he's playing well, and I'm happy that he has an effect on the game in different ways. You know, it's not just offense. There are games where defensively he impacts the game and covers up a lot of mistakes that we make. It usually takes younger bigs a lot longer. But I think playing with Chris, playing with Devin, and the work that DA puts in with Coach Mark Bryant has really helped him. You know, he is a talented player. His ability to rebound and finish around the basket, and then, you know, to have a big that can step up and make free throws is something that we don't take for granted. So he'd be the first one to tell you if he gets a chance to sit here, it's one game and we have a lot more work to do. And that's where his focus is probably at right now, is just winning the next game.
Final question is going to be Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic.
Coach, thank you. What are your thoughts on starting strong, both in this game and in the series?
I mean, it's the formula for any team. You know, you want to win every game, but especially the first game, it gives you a level of confidence. But our starts over the course of the playoffs, when we start well, it tends to build confidence for our team. I think about Game 5 against the Clippers when we had that, you know, below average start. You know, we were digging ourselves out of a hole, and it wasn't just the offense. It was just having the energy and the juice that we typically play with. So I do think it's important. I think our guys understand that, and we need to do it every time we step on the floor.
First question, Dwayne in the front, microphone coming your way.
Kel, you've seen Chris do what he does, but what was it like seeing that Game 1 of the finals? And it's his first one too, just like the rest of you guys. What was it like seeing the way he performed tonight?
You just know he's ready, man. He prepared his whole life for this moment. And it shows out there on the court, and puts a lot of work, a lot of hard work and sacrifice, and take care of his body. Like, you know, he really wants to be here. So I'm just happy to see him go out there. But you know what I'm saying, this is what we CP3, man. We know he could do this every game, and happy did Game 1 to help him get his win, and we're gonna need him for the next game and the next ones.
Quick follow. You guys had 20 points in transition. What do you feel? Was that just the mindset of it, or was that something else that led to you guys scoring that much in transition?
I think just locking in defensively, getting stops, and we all unselfish and we play fast. So once we get to stop, get a miss, and we just run out, and we know, I know for sure if I'm out, they're going to find me. So I just start running even if I'm tired. So it's just a team effort. We getting stops and just getting out.
Kellen?
Hey, Mikal, good to see you again.
How you doing?
Doing good, man. When Chris and Devin are going like that offensively, it seems like they're able to pick apart whatever the defense is doing. What does that do for the confidence of the team when the offense can vibe like that?
Amazing. I mean, it just opens up everything, I think. Just for other guys that's out there, we're spacing and stuff. It opens it up for us to get opportunity if they start, you know, helping towards booking CP, and then we get shots. And, you know, that's for us, just having that mindset to stay ready and be ready at all times. Because, you know, seeing book, they'll find you. So that's a great thing about them too, is that they could go score whenever they want, but they know and they're smart that they could read defenses if they're over helping it, and they're gonna get us looks.
Gina?
Hey, Mikal, yeah, I'll echo Kellen and say I think this is the first time I've seen you in a while. Yeah. You've obviously played at the highest level in college, playing in 2 national championship games. How does this feel, similarly or differently, just than playing at the highest level previously?
Nah, it's different. It's the NBA Finals. It's a lot different. But I was talking about it earlier today. I think the only thing that I was really ready for was the media. I think being in a Final Four, that media thing is crazy. It's just longer than being on the court. So I think I was trained. Coach Wright got us trained, especially going there a couple of times helps. But doing that and now going to this media, it makes it way easier for me.
And just for you coming out and scoring the way you did tonight, you know, offensively in the Clippers series, maybe not your best performance, just maybe what unlocked for you tonight to kind of get that going?
Just being aggressive and just Clippers defense as well. They did a great job too, just to limit everybody else and kind of making us play one-on-one. But just being ready, man. I know I struggled that series, and I just knew, I put a lot of work in. I was just going to, get ready, get another opportunity, another team, and another big stage, the biggest stage, and just being ready.
Melissa, right here.
Hey, Mikal, what does it say about this team for so many guys who have never been on this stage before to perform at the level that they did tonight?
It just shows that we're just together. I think that's the biggest thing. Jay's the only one, but we're just together as a team. It's just we're all gonna go through it, win together, lose together. We're all gonna be together. So I think just us being so close and knowing that obviously it's our first time, but nothing changes on the court. You still the same basketball, still the same rules, same court, same rims. There's no difference. It's just at the highest stage, and like people say, a little bit more pressure. It's higher stakes. Everybody wants to win. So I think just being together and knowing that it's still basketball at the end of the day.
Was something said tonight, maybe by Chris or by Monty, that kind of like drove home or reminded you guys of that togetherness?
No, this is every day. We preach it every day. It's never just, okay, let's be together. It's known. That we're together, and we show it, man. We don't fake it. We don't try to be together. It's just natural. Every time we see each other, it's just, we're a family. And, I love these guys, and we just, I'm happy we won today. We just got to keep getting better and get ready for game 2.
Palmer, over to you on Zoom.
Next is going to be Jovan Buha with The Athletic.
Hey, Mikal, I wanted to ask you about the assignment of defending Chris Middleton and just sort of that challenge and how you felt you did tonight.
Yeah, like I said earlier yesterday, he's Olympian. I don't know what else you want me to tell you. He's tough. He's an unbelievable player. Just try to make it tough for him, just doing a lot of scouting and watching film, just trying to make it tough, knowing his tendencies. I think I did okay today. Just trying to make it difficult on him, that's all.
Next is going to be Cameron Cox with 12 News.
Hey, Mikal, sorry about that. What'd you make of Cam Johnson's play tonight? I know you and Cam are pretty close. What'd you think of his performance?
That's what we need. And every time he scores or he's subbing for me, I just tell him, be ready, let's go. And he subbed in and got a quick 3. And I just was hyped up and tell him just right off the bench, I like it. And he just kept going with it, defending. And that's my brother out there, so I was happy for him. And we finally got a minute, maybe 20 seconds being on the court together, so it was pretty cool.
Over here, Anthony.
Were you surprised at how often they were just kind of switching everything and, even letting Chris just kind of, take jumpers against their bigs?
No, we watched them in the Atlanta series. Towards the end, it was 1 through 5 red, and so we knew that was a possibility, that they were going to do that, and they did. And, we just got guys like Book and CP that just keep making plays, and, I'm happy they're on our team, on my team, and it's just, I'm just happy.
Back right.
Mikal, in the fourth quarter, Milwaukee played Giannis at center almost exclusively. Do you feel like you guys have to attack them differently when they're giving you that look defensively, or is it more similar to what you guys were doing in the first half?
Yeah, just playing our ball. We've seen every look you could think of with, blitzing, Book and CP, or being up high, or being a drop, or ready 1 through 5, or doing a hit, So we've seen it all, and we just, just get prepared, and we know what we have to do in those situations, and just everybody being ready.
Dave, here in the front.
Yeah, Mikal, Dave McMahon with ESPN. When Milwaukee cut it to 7, what was the feeling with your group, and then what do you think allowed you to close it out?
Togetherness, just being together, and it's basketball, man. Gave up a run, just a game of runs, and they had their run, and we just had to stick together and don't let them, push it. And we got guys that make plays, and I think Campaign during that stretch had like 5 straight points. I think it was during that stretch, but we got guys. Oh, Book hit a 3, I know. So we just staying together. We just playing. We know they made a run. You can't get overhyped. You got to relax, calm down, and get ready to make a play out of the timeout.
Hey, DeAndre, very serious question. Did Chris steal that last rebound from you?
Yeah.
I saw you joke. I saw you cracking up about it. Yeah.
Book guy on him. I didn't really care. I was just happy how we all performed, to be honest.
And then just a more broader question. You and Chris have both alluded to just the candid conversations that you guys had maybe early on in the season when you were first started working together. When you think back on those conversations now, what were the biggest things that you took away that now you feel like is helping you in moments like now?
Really just approaching the game the right way. Always being alert, little things that matter in long stretches of the game. Knowing my matchup tendencies and just being a presence on both ends of the floor. Just putting pressure on the rim and also protecting the rim.
Dwayne?
Yeah, DeAndre, how much fun are you having with this whole experience? I mean, from yesterday when you walked in and saw Larry all over, and now today having the game you had in game one.
I mean, I'm just happy because I woke up saying, this is just one game closer. You know what I'm saying? I get goosebumps. Sometimes I overwhelm myself on the way to the game. I'm having a lot of fun because my guys in there, they keep me level and, they keep me intent with it.
At what point in terms of tonight were you like, you know what, I'm doing my job? At what point did you start feeling like I'm doing my job for this team?
Really when CP and Book start getting to their spots out of our pick and rolls early, me setting good screens and, just adapting to how the Bucks was throwing defense at us, whether they were switching or going over or under, just really trying to get a good hit on them, and they got the rest.
Kellen, right here.
Hey, DeAndre, Monty talked about the last couple of days with this matchup, how important rebounding was going to be. How much pride do you take individually in that when you know it's going to be a key in a matchup or a series?
I mean, them dudes is big dudes, man. That's what we really get their offense going, especially. Just try to clean up some of that stuff so we can get on the run and give ourselves some momentum as well. And, I try my best. And, guys like Jay Crowder and T. Craig, coming in there just getting some tips or, boxing guys like PJ Tucker to not, really strap it on my hand when I get the board.
Melissa?
Hey, DeAndre, why do you think you and CP3 and Devin complement each other so well? Monty kind of alluded to there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that kind of led to you guys coming together so well and, stepping up the way you guys are, excuse me, right now on the biggest of stages. What has happened behind the scenes?
It's just the respect level. Like you say, we all got on each other, had candid conversations where, we had to adjust, but candid conversations lead to wins. And, it started to be great communication and constructive criticism. And we just all take it into a positive and play it together, bring it to the other guys and they see how we are playing as a unit and it's contagious. That's about it.
Palmer on Zoom.
Next up is going to be Kirsten Susel with 12 News.
Hey, DeAndre, you mentioned how sometimes you overwhelm yourself on the way to the arena. What kind of butterflies were you dealing with tonight? And when you get kind of excited and anxious, what do you do to calm yourself down?
Me, I really just take three deep breaths, close my eyes. And, after I do that, the whole arena is really empty, to be honest. I just see my teammates and my coaches and, it's the task at hand after that.
Hey, Chris, Mark Mentini, USA Today. Monty was praising you and Devin and DeAndre for having a lot of talks about just what that dynamic will be from a chemistry standpoint. What did those discussions throughout the season entail? What do you think it's taken to get to this point?
It's been a lot. It was some tough ones. DA couldn't have said it better. Sometimes, people take it as arguing or whatnot, but I think it was all constructive. Talking about pace. They've been on me about getting the ball up the floor faster, talking to DA about the angles of the screens. And you see, as the season goes on, how much that stuff is important about hitting the bottom, getting out, making yourself open. And I could show you play after play where it helped tonight.
Chris in the back right.
Chris Haynes, Yahoo Sports. Chris, can you talk about the first 5 or 6 minutes for you? It seemed like it took a little bit to kind of settle in, and you took off. When did it start to click? And what were you feeling in those initial minutes?
I just missed my first couple shots. You know what I mean? I think that's the way that we play. But Book got it going. I think Book had 12 in the first quarter. And that's just the way our team is. It's not just one guy that we depend on. You know, Kale could get going. Jay might be hot. DA might have it going. And we just feed off of each other. And it's sort of just all game long, this guy, that guy. And we just try to find a way to win.
Brian, over here on the left side.
Hey, Chris. Obviously, we know you waited a long time, but the fans here waited a long time to see the Suns playing the finals again. Did you get to kind of just, notice how much they were taking in this whole scene and how much they were enjoying what you guys were doing out there today?
Not really. Not really. Probably maybe initially when we run out for warm-ups, but I'm just so locked into the game. I ain't really paying attention to much, just trying to stay in the moment. Yeah, no, it got crazy loud during one of those timeouts, but it's exciting. And, that's one win, and I think I'm just focused on the task at hand.
Dwayne in the front.
Yes, Dwayne Reagan, Arizona Republic. Chris, the pick and roll tonight with you and DeAndre and then Devin getting involved in the pick and roll. What were you guys seeing tonight that led it to just seemingly flowing and getting buckets seemingly every time you guys went to it?
We play a lot of basketball, so we sort of know. I was watching them soccer games today, which was crazy. I watched that hockey game last night, and I'm watching that like, damn, how do you know to pass it there? And, and they probably think the same thing with us, but we do this so often, and we've seen just about every coverage you could possibly see. So it's second nature. And I think our coaches, the way they prepared us since training camp, day in and day out, it seems repetitive to some, but for us, it's necessary. So,
Paul, you talking about pace. You guys had 20 points in transition. As far as pushing it, Mikal, is that just an automatic when he's ahead to get it to him?
Yeah, they be on me bad about that, especially Willie Green. Willie was my teammate. Willie always said that I held on to the ball too long. You know what I mean? But it's like I said, constructive criticism. In that Clipper game, the closeout game, Willie came and said, we need to get the ball over half court with 20 seconds, so I'm trying to make a conscious effort of making sure we're playing with the right pace.
Ramona and then Gina to Zoom.
Hey, Chris, Ramona Shelburne, ESPN. Adam Silver gave his press conference that he always does at the finals before the game. And he said, it's kind of poetic justice that you and him were on the phone so much last year from March till whenever the bubble started. And then now all of a sudden you're here. I mean, I don't know if you've ever put all that in perspective of all the things you did to keep the league going. And now you've ended up yourself here in the finals. But how do you sit with that?
Not
statement?
too often. I mean, I'm just like everybody else. I got those memories that come up on my phone and show you where you were like a year ago. Dooley, Abdul Nader came up to me in the locker room before the game. He was like, see, a year ago today, we left to go to the bubble, so it's amazing to think all the things that's taken place since then. But I'm grateful for where I am now and happy to have this opportunity.
Gina Mizell, Suns.com. Chris, Monty shared before the game that the message around the facility on all the screens was just go hoop. Yeah, I mean, just when it's the message is that simple where it's not like, here's a tactical game plan thing, like just go out and play. Like how much does that put a team at ease just to trust what you've done to get here and just, hey, go out and play?
I think it's really good for our team because I've said it all season long. One thing that we're going to be is prepared. We're going to be prepared for every game. So, we always talk about, when preparation meets opportunity. So, shoot around. Coach said, go hoop. Y'all know what to do.
Palmer on Zoom.
Next up is going to be Brendan Clean with Locked On Suns.
Hey, Chris. I'm curious with the way that you guys were able to kind of have a solution to a lot of the defenses that you saw them throw at you today. How much of that was scripted versus you guys just reading and reacting to what they were doing?
Combination of both. Like I said, we play a lot of basketball, watch a lot, and our coaches told us all the different things to be prepared for. We played against these guys twice. We prepared for Giannis or not Giannis, so we're sure they're going to make some adjustments going in the game too, and we'll probably do the same.
Final question is Kent Somers with the Arizona Republic.
after your voice and many others in DA's ears throughout the year, what are you most proud of the way he's played this postseason?
Sitting in the back during DA's press conference just now, just hearing him talk, just seeing maturity in him, not only as a basketball player, but as a person. You know, everybody doesn't get a chance to know him off the court, but he has the biggest heart, one of the best guys you'll ever meet. So the success and the recognition that he's getting right now is well-deserved, and I couldn't be happier for another guy on our team. Not even you, but. Yep.
Look, as a teammate of Chris's, when he gets a big switched out onto him on the perimeter, are you watching to see what's going to happen next, or what goes
Space
through?
out. You know, coach talks about it all the time is, you know, our spacing. You know, we have to punish teams for switching 1 through 5 like that. And, you know, like I just heard Chris say, we prepare for any type of defense, and we watch a lot of basketball, and where we've been most successful in that situation is space out. So every time he shoots it, we think it's going in.
Dwayne?
Yes, Dwayne Rankin, Arizona Republic. Devin, you went retro with this look right here. This is like 90s. They used to dress after games in the finals. But wanted to ask about Giannis. Were you expecting him to play tonight? I mean, or were you unsure whether he was going to step out there?
Honestly, I had no idea. But we did prepare for both. So, you know, I kind of took our energy away from worrying about that and just locking in what we have to do as a team, because, you know, I've said it before, we focus on, you know, ourselves more than anything. But obviously he's a big factor to the game, and, you know, that can be a whole entirely different game. And just scouting, not saying they're better one way or the other, but, you know, we had 2 different game plans as if he was playing or he wasn't.
Like was a key tonight that maybe doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but you feel like you guys did this particularly well that led to the win?
Just team defense, communication through everybody. You know, we understand we don't want to make it a make or miss game. You know, we want to make teams miss, and we want to guard at the highest level. So, you know, that's where we've been successful is, you know, just banking on that. I think that Clipper game when it was 71-70 for 6 minutes straight, we're not making a bucket, but we're not letting them score either. So that's where we hang our hats on is our defense end, and, you know, we'll make it work on the other end.
Mark?
Hey, Devin, Monty was praising you and DA and Chris for having a lot of talks throughout the season about how to make that dynamic work and maximize the potential. What did those talks entail, and why do you think it's worked so well?
Just like Chris whispered to me when he was walking out, he was like, we've been on his ass. and we have, and that's why, you know, Chris can say that's who he's most proud of. And I feel the same way, because sometimes you walk around the court, Chris will be talking to him, I'll be waiting right there. You done, Chris? All right, now let me go tell him something. So we're all in his ear, we're all on him, and for him to retain all that information and come perform at, you know, at the level that he's been performing is, you know, it's hard to put words to it, because we have been tough on him. And, you know, he has went through his phases in his NBA career, but since this playoffs have started, you've seen his maturity and his growth, you know, grow to a whole nother level. And, you know, he's continuing to get better, and his willingness to learn. You know, now instead of me coming up to him, he might come to me and be like, what should I do when this happens? So just little things like that, man. And, you know, he still has even more in the tank that, you know, he's going to show soon.
Melissa?
Did you have a moment tonight when this all hit you like, wow, this is a moment that I've been dreaming about my entire career and I'm finally here?
Tonight it was tough. When we had practice, when we walked in, they have the finals displayed on every TV. You know, it kind of hit me, but, you know, it's kind of hard to reflect on what's going on when we're in it.
Kellen, right here on 2.
What up, Kellen?
The 16 you guys scored at the start of the game, they were all in the paint. You guys had the free throws way up tonight. Do you think that's when the offense is at its best, when you guys are aggressive like that?
Yeah. You know, we always want to be the initiator of the game and, you know, start it off the right way and, you know, put pressure on the paint. You know, when we put pressure on the rim like that, it opens up other opportunities for people. Everybody on the floor can shoot and can space. So we know when we get downhill that, you know, we can make something happen for a team, whether it's score the ball or swing it to the opposite side and get an open shot.
What were you seeing specifically that you liked in the anything because you were there.
Yeah, just what you said, just, asserting ourselves into the game, early. I think the games that we've struggled with this year, we were fighting uphill the whole game and starting off down 15, 20 points. But, I think when we come out with that pace and that energy, how it should be for a finals game, we're going to leave ourselves in a pretty good shape.
Thanks, Buck.
Thank you.
Ryan on the left.
I think you said before, whenever Chris shoots it, you guys think it's going in. That third quarter, it pretty much did almost.
Yeah.
What did that do for you guys' confidence? That it was a close game for the first half. No one had a double-digit lead, and then kind of, what does that show you when your guy has it rolling like that?
I mean, it gives you all the confidence in the world. Like I said, we hang our hat on the defense end, and anything that we're getting offensively is a plus. That's how we try to look at things as this team. So, just guarding, and when we can give it to Chris like that and let him isolation any team that is trying to switch 1 through 5, we're in good shape.
Palmer, do you on Zoom?
Next is going to be Jovan Buha with The Athletic.
Hey, Book. I wanted to ask you about Mikhail's performance tonight and his defense on Chris Middleton, and then also offensively him getting out in transition.
Yeah, I mean, he had the toughest assignment tonight in guarding Chris, especially the way Chris had it rolling. But, we've been stressing to him all the time, just make it hard on him. He's going to make tough shots, but just always be in the right place. And, when he's out in transition, playing with his length and his speed, he's a tough coverage. So if guys want to, sleep on him or whatever you want to call it, he can make you pay. And teams going to understand, that's not the guy to leave open, or that's not the guy to leave in transition, because he will make you pay.
Next is Kirsten Susel with 12 News.
Hey, Buck, going off that question of just kind of being able to recognize the moment of being at the finals, at this point, do you still ever get butterflies or get anxious, anything like that? And were you dealing with any of it on your way to the arena or going through warm-ups?
I just get really excited. That's pretty much it. Us as a team and, trusting everybody in this locker room, from coaching staff, the training staff, all the way down to the players. It's kind of hard to get butterflies because you understand your brother has your back. It takes a lot of pressure off you when good or bad that you're going to be in the game, you're going to be competing to win. So, for me, that relieves a lot, and I'm sure all the other guys feel that, you're not pressured to go out there and play a perfect game. You can go out there and play your game, whether you're making or missing shots. I keep saying it, we're going to be on the other end defending.
Next up is Mark Schwartz with ESPN.
Look, as we've talked about, Chris is 36 years old. We know he's going to the Hall of Fame, but when they induct him, they're going to talk about his leadership. They're going to talk about his playmaking. But now they're going to have to talk about the 73 points he scored in the last 2 games. I mean, this guy is now a bucket too.
Chris Paul's he's been a bucket, man. I mean, he obviously, he gets his team involved. He is the greatest leader, to play this game, but he's been a bucket for a very long time. And, in my 6 years of playing against him, or 5 years of playing against him, you understand that, there's no scouting report that says Chris Paul can't get a bucket.
We'll take final 2 questions here, Malika and Ramona.
Hey, Book. I'm just wondering, Jay Crowder, he doesn't score until late, but he's the only guy here on either team who'd had playoff or finals rather experience coming in. Could you feel that at all, his impact being a little bit different than any other guy who hadn't been there?
Just the leadership, you understand he's been there before. Our whole team understands he was just there last year, so we bank on him for that gritness, that toughness. I think a big part of the game was him taking the charge on Giannis down there underneath, just making Giannis think that, you just can't go through him every time, because he's a strong base. His shot didn't fall tonight, but as history speaks, we know it will and it can. But he impacts the game in so many different other ways. And whether he's making a shot, whether he's playing good defense, he's always communicating with our team and talking to guys and giving any type of pointers and being honest with them. I always talk about honesty with our team, and, when somebody's slacking, just letting them know. And even if it's aggressive, we have a team that, can relay that information and don't take it personal. And, you know, Jay's one of them guys that, you know, if you're slipping up, he's going to get on you. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Book. Mark, Ramona Shelburne with ESPN. Mark mentioned earlier, Chris is 36. We talked about this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years ago, people were talking about him like he was done, like it was his contract was too big, or he kept getting hurt at the wrong time. You're such a student of the game. I'm sure you watched that, and I'm wondering how those words landed with you, but also how you've just seen him yourself with your own eyes this last year, and how he's sort of reconfigured himself now.
Yeah, anybody that counted Chris Paul out, I mean, we just went down his track record of, you know, he's walking in the Hall of Fame, first ballot, you know, so you can't ever count any guy out that has done the things that he's done on the court. So, you know, if I hear things like that, which I did, you know, I take it as complete nonsense. You know, if he doesn't play another game for us, you can still pay him his contract. His effect's that big. You know what I'm saying? So he moves his team. He leads his team daily. And just having him in the locker room, I'm not even talking about anything he does on the court, takes the team to that next level.
Just as a quick follow-up, I don't know if you were close enough to the dribble that he did on Bobby Portis today. What have you ever been on the other side of one of those? And how terrifying is it to be on defense when somebody can do that? Whatever we want to call it.
I'm locking that up. That has nothing to do with me, Bobby Portis. I'm locking C up. I tell him all the time.
But what do we?
No,
call
it's
that?
tough. It's tough. You know, he's a tough guard. You know, he's one of those guys that you take one thing away, he does the other. You know, it might sound simple, but, you know, he just takes what the defense gives him, and the ability to shoot the ball and score the ball from any spot on the court just makes you really tough to guard.